Okay, so SunBalance. SunBalance is our mast cell stabilizer. You can think of it as just inflammation, just dampen it down. Of course, you don't let them keep eating McDonald's and Cheetos and things and put them on this, but you're trying to balance it out and you're giving them a leg up. The ingredients in this will help stabilize that mast cell. So PEA, so it's found in things like chocolate. It's known for its calming effect. It's an endogenous lipid modulator. There's a ton of research on this particular compound, more than 50 years. So they discovered it, I think, in the 70s. A Nobel laureate really studied it. That's all he studied for years and years, trying to figure out the mechanism of PEA. It's been studied in a lot of pain syndromes. There's a lot of randomized controlled where they put people who had nerve compressions like sciatica, carpal tunnel, just beat the pants off any anti-inflammatories that they were using. And again, a lot of clinical trials. So how does it work? How does it help with pain, mood, promote feelings of well-being, and calmness? It's like the chill pill. That's what I would call the chill pill. It activates the cannabinoid receptors. Very cool. It activates the energy-boosting, fat-burning, anti-inflammatory PPAR alpha. And that activates genes that are pro-inflammatory. It reduces the activity of the bliss gene because the bliss gene actually breaks down our natural cannabinoids. So we're getting a calming effect, and that's something I think our society really needs, a calming effect. I got flipped off going to the airport, picking up Dr. Eric. I'm like, you need SunBalance. Oh no! I'm not the best driver, so. So from the paper that talks about the real sciencey stuff, I thought Eric would like this. The PEA acting on that PPAR, acting on those receptors. So I put that in there if you really want to read the science behind that. I'm sure Eric will put it as quicker. So some studies on PEA. It's anti-inflammatory, especially the neurological system. So this is a meta-analysis, and the findings of this support the notion that new therapeutic opportunities for chronic pain might be based on anti-inflammatory and pro-resolving mediators that act on immune cells. That's just so cool. Like they're like, okay, we have an opioid epidemic, and the NSAIDs are not the best, so we're gonna figure this out, and we're gonna go after the mast cells and the glia. I don't know about you guys, but I find a lot of this chronic pain that people are in, I feel like it's coming from the brain. Yeah, they're just so inflamed in this mast cell, and it's putting off all these mediators and things, and it's like, good, this sounds like a good plan. Through the literature, over and over again, PEA has no adverse side effects. There's not one thing that's listed that's even a medication interaction, which is important because our patients are on a lot of medication.
I listened to a podcast with a medical doctor talking about, alternatives for opioids, and it was antidepressants and benzos. Yeah. So benzos, 10 times more addictive and way more horrific detoxing. That's what is going to be the solution. So it's just like, yeah, you're kidding me.
Right. There is a study too, there's a couple of them that has PEA in clinical trials with depression too. And they're pairing it with some of the typicals and getting a better response. But I'm like, it's probably just the PEA in there that's getting a better response. PEA, this is with that Nobel laureate. He studied a lot with cold and flu. So I'm like, okay, that's great. So there's a really good paper, effective and safe and take against influenza and the common cold. So the literature says the pharmacology of PEA and first data on the therapeutic efficacy of some of its new formulations. What this is saying right here is that the combination of PEA with flavonoids is a good idea. So guess what we did? We put it in a pill so that we can all enjoy it. So we took the luteolin, which is the flavonoid, and we put it in SunBalance. So it's our number 2 ingredient in SunBalance is the luteolin. Lots of the data to support the synergy between these two compounds. So it's a flavonoid. It's found in lots of fruits and vegetables and thyme. We're very familiar with that. During in vitro and in vivo analysis, it has anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective properties. Wow. Dr. Theoridis, the master of the Mast Cell, he talks a lot about luteolin, which he loves luteolin. And if you go to his website is mastcellmaster.com, He states all kinds of studies about how luteolin is protective and stabilizes really well the mast cell. And you can get, again, anything in your practice that's aggravated with stress or pain. Pain is aggravated by stress. You can give this a try. And then in this study, the luteolin formulation, the flavonoid luteolin has antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-allergy, and neuroprotective properties. Sounds good to me. Oh, and this one, when they had the combination, so they actually studied it together. This was actually a product that was done in Germany. It was called Gliolil, and it's not available anymore. And the mast cell, or the Dr. Klinghardt and his group were treating like mast cell and Lyme and a lot of autism. They were using a ton of it, and it was like this uproar when they couldn't find it, and there's really no good replacement. But now there's SunBalance, and SunBalance is a really good replacement. So they're using it to counter, and this was in a rat, it wasn't a human, just so you know, but they're using it to counteract the inflammation and oxidative stress of Parkinson's disease, and it did it really well. And it also had some autophagy properties. So autophagy is your cellular cleaning mechanisms that are really in full force when you're not eating. Some nutrients can also upregulate autophagy. And then we added quercetin. I think quercetin is a wonderful compound. I love that it conserves the NAD. I think that's one of the neatest things that it does. It conserves that NAD consumption, and that helps your mitochondria, it helps your energy. But it's also a flavonoid, and it's been known to, with these published studies, reverse viral illness, and it can have some positive effects if you're going to be under stress. It's protecting you, probably through this mechanism right here, and it's also a nice mast cell stabilizer. And there's some study on quercetin. It's more effective than this drug in blocking the mast cells. Right there, inhibiting IL-8, TNF-alpha release from the mast cells, and it reduces IL-6. So all that is positive. And this one right here dramatically inhibits the mast cell. So just same thing, good stuff. And there's the paper on, and you guys will have these slides, why it's important to keep that ratio reduced. So you want more NAD and less NADH, and quercetin can do that by way of the CD38.